Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video I am going to talk about faith, belief systems, and this was inspired by my latest podcast guest, Chris Modell. So he is a man of faith and overcome many obstacles in his life, and we talked about balance and what brings him balance, especially in the last 2 years. And he said it was his faith. Yeah. Now he was Christian, and that was where his faith lies. We shared our stories because I was not a man of faith. You know, when I was a child, I would say about up to maybe 7, 8 years old, I was raised Christian, went to church occasionally. My nan was from Ireland, and she still, I think it might have even been Catholic, to be honest. This is how long ago it was. I remember there was like communions and stuff. So yeah, I was raised in that sort of culture, but because of my mum's struggle and her mental health issues and the chaos and trauma I experienced as a young age, I lost my faith. I lost my belief system. I remember days of like just praying and being there and curled up in my bed, like crying, praying to a God for some sort of savior, some sort of help, someone to take the pain away. If you see my other content, I share a lot more on this in my childhood, but I suffered a lot of pain internally. And I even questioned my life. I was like, what is the point of all this suffering and pain and chaos? It's like this, what's life? What's the point of life? And then this really made me question God, because I was like, where is he? Where is she? Where is it? Where is this God that people are praying to, like my family? And I wasn't getting any results. I prayed, I didn't see any answers. Life continued to suffer. Yeah, this sent me on a path of looking at religion, other religions, because where I came from in England, just south of London, it's very mixed culture. So I had friends that were Muslim, friends that were Christian, friends that had no structured belief system. Yeah, I had a lot of diversity in my upbringing, and I would watch and I'd look and judge. At this point, I was very judgmental. I would also judge everyone's actions because I was like, is it right or wrong? I had a lot of judgment because I was trying to see how to live, what's life. And I would see things, and some things looked really strange to me. And I just couldn't understand it. And I couldn't understand how could each one of these think they're so right and then not agree with the other one. Yeah, and I went through all this battle. And then when I was in my late teens, I really got into sort of the atheism movement with people like Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins and what they called like the Four Horses of the Apocalypse or whatever they were called. But I used to watch their debates and I used to love it. I used to watch all the religious debates, and it was stimulating my intellect, it was stimulating my mind, but it did make me really biased. It did cause me to have a lot more judgment in my life. I saw one as right, one as wrong. This is not where I am now, by the way. I don't look at things as right or wrong, or good or bad. I just only look at myself, my actions. Are they compassionate? Are they loving? Are they kind? And that's all I look at. What can I offer to someone? I heard a really good quote last week. I changed it a little bit. I tweaked it a little bit, but it was, you can't control where someone is on their life path, on their journey of life, but you can always offer opportunity. And I think that was beautiful because that's where I am right now. It's like I'll come to a situation, a person, and I won't judge them, no matter what they've done. And it's hard to think or perceive, but who am I to judge? Yeah, so I'll look at them and I'll be like, can I offer an opportunity here? I'm not concerned. I don't have conditions or expectations whether they will take it. They're on their own life journey, their own path. But I can offer an opportunity. I might be able to offer an insight, a bit of love, a bit of compassion, even if it's silent. Maybe a hug, maybe a smile, maybe just a hello. Sometimes just a small act of kindness can go a tremendous way. Yeah, so that's how I live now. And I'm always growing, I'm always developing. So yeah, and where religion comes into my life, I don't belong or say that I am any part of any religion, nor do I condemn or judge those that are. But I am a man of faith. I live in faith. You may be thinking, what does that mean if you don't have a religion? So I'm really interested to connect with some people on this, because I think there's a lot of people out there right now who don't want to belong to a certain religious group, but they feel like they have some form of faith. They feel like there's something else there. The easiest, simplest way I could probably explain this for me is going through a process of understanding the physical body, yeah? And noticing that there is what I call the intelligence within. Yeah? And what I mean by that is, if I was to eat something, I eat a cabbage. Yeah, I like cabbage, so I eat a lot of cabbage. Yeah, I think it's very nutritious. But yeah, so anyway, cabbage. I'm also doing a cookbook just on cabbage, by the way, 10 different cabbage recipes, grain-free, no meat. So if you're interested in that, drop a comment. Is that something you'd be interested in? A friend of mine recommended it because they wanted to know. They had some food around mine and they were like, oh, how do you cook this food so tasty without grains and without meat? So I said, I cook a lot of different foods without grains, without meat, because that's how I eat, that's how I live. So I'm going to make that too. But yeah, so I could eat a piece of cabbage. I don't have to think, consciously put in any effort to either turn that cabbage into my cells, into my blood, or turn it into what comes out of me at the end, the next day. Yeah, I don't put any effort into that. There's an intelligence within that can dissect and organize and analyze every bit of that cabbage. And the cabbage may look like one thing, but it's made up of thousands and thousands of things. It has its own genes, it has its own DNA. And my body has an intelligence within to decode that, to recognize that, to process that. Yeah. So as I've seen that intelligence within the body, and I also see that that intelligence is always acting on the best behalf of preservation and sustainability and exploration within, to be more able. The only time it goes off course, it's doing the best it can with what I provide it and what I do with it. Like I said, if this is making a little bit of sense to you or no sense, check out my one of my first episodes on my podcast, the WTF method. I'll put a link at the end and in the description, and maybe that will explain my process of separating the body, the mind, and the life force you are. Yeah, so as my life force, I am able to set the intent of what I do with my body and my mind. And like I said, with the body, it's got this intelligence within. Then I look at the earth, I look at this beauty, I look at nature, I look at everything. And I'm aware and witness that there's an intelligence, yeah, similar to that intelligence within, that's doing the best it can to survive, to thrive. Yeah, but depending what we do with it and how we do it, it's going to be how well it is sustained. But there's an intelligence there. And I don't even like, to be honest, like the word intelligence. Intelligence and intellect to me is a little bit of the mind. The mind loves that because that's what the mind is. You know, when we look at us compared to other species, what we notice that's different is that intellect. So we prioritize that intellect, and often we can forget the beauty in other things. Yeah, so that's why I look and I'm like, there is something much bigger and has a system and has a process. Yeah, I look at the word God and it's like generation, generates, yeah, order and decay. Every single thing. If you can name a thing that doesn't generate, have an order and decay, yeah, drop it in the comments. But if you look at everything, even a rock, you'll see over time that it generated in some way. Yeah, then it has an order, the structure, how it's actually built. If you look at it, break it down and see it's made of so much stuff. Yeah, and then it decays, it changes, and it's always in motion. And this process is always happening around us, in everything, in ourselves, in our cells, in the world, in life. Yeah, so this to me is God, that process. And I have faith in that process. And that faith is that it is working in its best possible way in an intelligence vastly superior to mine. Yeah, so much so. So I can't judge it, I can't question it. I can just do my best act with compassion, kindness, love, and grace at all moments. And just reflect and be aware when I didn't. If I had an interaction with nature, with my loved one, Danielle, with another stranger, a person or a friend or a family member, I can just look and witness. Was I really acting with compassion, with love? Yeah, and just noticing them things and adjusting my lifestyle to make sure I'm just adding more of that in my interactions, in my being, in my presence, in my mind, in my thoughts, in the way I treat myself, the way I treat others. So to me, this is where my faith lies. If I'm on that path, then I can have faith that wherever my life goes, whatever happens externally, It's just the way it is. It's meant to happen. It's part of that journey. It's part of that path. And I have faith in that. I don't have expectations in it. I don't set expectations that I'm going to go a certain way, do a certain thing, and all this will happen and manifest and I'll get everything I want. I used to think this way. Yeah, back when I was, like I said, I was always say I was 99% atheist when I was like in my 20s, early 20s. I could never say that 1% more because I didn't like to absolute anything. I didn't think it was possible to be an absolutist and be 100% sure on anything, because who am I to know? And this was something I had in me from a young age, that who am I to know? Yeah, so right now I say I don't know. So I'm open. The moment we say we know, that's a closed system. It's unable to take in new information, new interactions. So I hope this gave you some interest in faith, in belief systems, in the process of life, in my life. I'm really intrigued to hear what you thought about this, where you are in your life with your faith, with your religion. Like I said, there's no judgment here. If you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, a Jew, wherever you are, whoever you are, you're welcome here. I love you, truly do. I appreciate you. And we're here to connect and to love and to share. No matter what you have to say, drop it in the comments. Even if it's just to celebrate your belief system, drop it in. What do you believe? Where's your faith? What religion are you? I'd love to hear who my viewers are. As I think in this time, a lot of people are hesitant, like even I was, to be honest, to share my faith and my belief systems, because there's a lot of people out there that are so critical, that are so judgmental. You know, that again, they have such a strong opinion on what's right, what's wrong. It's judgments, it's conditions, it's expectations. So we can shelter ourselves in how we express our beliefs. And if we don't express them, yeah, we're not really living them. So this is a big step for me to share this video with you, and I'm so happy I did. Like I said, it was motivated by Chris Dell. So Chris, if you're watching this, bless you, thank you. And yeah, drop me a comment, let me know what you want to hear. And check out the podcast with Chris Dell. Check out the other episodes. They're in a playlist called The Selfish Podcast on all platforms as well. And just go through my videos, have a look, drop comments, and let me know what you think about. Request any topic, any video you want, and I'll share my thoughts, my perspective. Much love. Have a beautiful day, a lovely life, and I'll see you in the next video.